7 o'clock on the dot.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is a regularly scheduled meeting of the Hartford Common Council. First order of business is Pledge of Allegiance. Will you all stand and join? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Third item, roll call. Shanna?
The mayor and all alderpersons are present except Alderperson Waldvogel, who is absent and excused.
Thank you. Fourth item on the agenda is the mayor's appointments of boards, commissions, and committees. Steve, do we need to go over these and approve these then, or?
Yeah, so you're going to, just like you did on the early April meeting, you're going to just go over those three, let everyone know who's on that, and then have them approve.
Can we do all three at once, or do we have to do them?
You can do all three at once.
All right. So for the Board of Review, Jackie Infalt as a citizen member. For the Outreach on Aging, Chad Waldvogel as the aldermanic liaison. And the Standing Utility Committee, also Alderperson Chad Waldvogel. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
So moved by Dean,
Second.
seconded by Alderperson Wilk. Any further discussion?
Justin beat me to it, in fairness, the
It'll
second.
be
All right.
fine. Justin will understand.
No, I won't.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Fifth item on the agenda is the unanimous consent agenda. Shannon? Oh,
Move for approval?
sorry, Wayne.
We got to do that first.
Yep, sorry, Wayne. Wayne for motion,
Second.
second by Alderperson Webb.
Motion by Alderperson Rusniak, seconded by Alderperson Webb, approving the following items on the unanimous consent agenda: the Common Council minutes of May 13th, 2025, and accepting the bid for Performance Roofing Systems to remove and replace old roofing over all of the Apparatus Bay garage area of the fire station in an amount not to exceed $92,856.
Thank you. All right, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Seeing no communications.
I do have a couple things, actually, that came up. Sorry.
Shanna.
They came up this afternoon. One is for those of you attending the Mid-Moraine dinner tomorrow, if you would all want to meet after this meeting to kind of go over who wants to ride with who. I was told maybe that would be a good idea. It's up to you guys. And also now the Common Council photo, since it's not occurring today, we were going to push it off to next week. We do have a couple alderpersons that will be absent at the next Common Council meeting, so now we're going to try to hold it at, after the June 24th meeting. And that's all I have.
Super, thank you. Seventh item on the agenda is appearances or citizen comments. Anyone wishing to appear?
Good evening, I'm Tom Hostad, Executive Director at the Hartford Area Development Corporation, and here this evening to speak to...
There's a switch on it?
Just use your big boy voice.
Okay, I'm here to speak to the technology committee. No, I'm here. I'm here to speak in favor of an agenda item tonight, item number 10, under committee reports, finance and personnel, and that is the proposed purchase or sale, rather, of HADC land. So this is a letter I'm going to read, a brief one from the president of our board of directors. Dear Mayor Regan and council members, on behalf of the board of directors of the Hartford Area Development Corporation, I would like to convey our support of the pending offer to purchase of the noted tax parcel. I'm not going to read the number. Our board had an opportunity to review the pending offer and has voted unanimously to recommend approval. The HADC has been working towards the sale of this parcel for several years, and we fully support the property being used for residential development. Based on the research we have done and the feedback we've received from the industrial community, we feel that residential development will be the highest and best use of this land. And that's signed respectfully, Matthew Schweckel, President, Hartford Area Development Corp. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Anyone else wishing to appear? Any others? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to item number 8, the mayor's report. That's me. As you know, yesterday was Memorial Day. Traditionally in Hartford, there is a Memorial Day parade and tribute, and that follows in Sawyer Park. I just want to thank all those involved in putting that on. They just do an excellent job. It was a fantastic event, and I just want to especially thank the American Legion, Hartford City Band, and Hartford City Chorus, and all those that attended. Again, it was just a wonderful event, so thank you all, City of Hartford. And item number 9, aldermanic requests, and we'll start with President Rusniak.
For those of you that are going to the Mid-Moraine dinner tomorrow night, I will pick you up at 5:45. I have a 7-passenger van, so I always end up driving. So 5:45 behind City Hall.
Thanks, Wayne. Alderperson Curley.
The PFC met on May 4th and confirmed Chief Burgart's appointment of Lena Klebla as a EMT subject to successful completion of all pre-hire conditions. The Hartford Police Department K-9 Ranger and Officer Steve Chinecki recently won the overall top dog team award by the Jessafani K-9 Service 7th Annual K-9 Seminar and Certification Event on May 1st through the 3rd in Neosho. During the 3-day event, Ranger successfully attained national certification and demonstrated a high level of proficiency throughout the evaluation process. Judges come from all over the United States to test participants' skills. In addition to the certification, Ranger and Chernacki took home the Top Dog Award in a series of challenges against 54 other handler teams. On Thursday, Chief Scott McFarland joined K-9 Officer Cole Parker as Parker received the Green Bay Packer Protect and Serve K-9 Award. Officer Parker's exceptional service in 2024 included recognition as Wisconsin Handler of the Year by the Wisconsin Law Enforcement K-9 Association, making him a deserving candidate. In 2024, Officer Parker and K-9 Flash were remarkable with 160 deployments, 121 arrests, and 18 K-9 apprehensions. Their efforts led to significant drug and firearms seizures, including 530 grams of cocaine, 2,325 grams of fentanyl, 562 grams of marijuana, 400 grams of methamphetamine, 15.23 grams of ecstasy, 59 prescription pills, 8 firearms, and $33,060 in drug-related cash. Of particular note, they assisted in compensating 2.322 kilos of fentanyl, the largest single fentanyl seizure in Washington County Metro Drug Investigation history. So congratulations to both men and their dogs.
Nice job. Thanks, Dean. Sure. Alderperson Garza.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Alderperson Turchi.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Alderperson Webb.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Alderperson Kohler.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Alderperson Savage.
Yes, I want to welcome everybody who's participating in the U.S. Women's Open.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you. And Alderperson Wolk.
Just a brief thing, I did go to my first library board meeting a couple weeks ago. The siding project's going really well. They've gotten really great feedback from the public about how it's looking. And their summer reading event for the youth is coming up soon as well. So they've got lots of exciting activities planned for kids and adults alike if you want to get involved in the summer reading program. And then something came up that I just thought might be kind of a fun challenge for everyone. They were wondering if all city council people already have library cards at our local library. I do. So if you don't, go get one, because I think it's a good way to talk about it. So that's it.
Super, thanks, Aaron.
Yeah.
All right. Item number 10 on the agenda is standing committee reports. Finance and Personnel, Wayne?
2 items for discussion tonight. Discussion and consideration of denying the property damage claim in the amount of $6,740,000 submitted by Form Technologies. Steve, are you taking this?
Yes, sir. So again, on occasion, what will happen is something that will happen that will be outside of the control of any of the city employees or representatives. What happened in this situation was a electrical issue that affected a single business, that being Signacast. Because of that, they had to shut down and things like that. The first thing that they will do is then go after the electric utility and or city. In this situation, again, their attorneys and insurance company basically reached out to us and had calculated their total loss at $6.7 million. The submission automatically goes to our insurance company. Our insurance company then reviews what happened, and then will determine if there is any actual liability on behalf of the city. In this situation, like you're going to find in most situations, again, they could not find that the city was liable or that anything that they did would make them negligent of what occurred. Because of that, the insurance company is recommending your denial of that tonight. And then what will happen is this opens them up the opportunity then for an actual lawsuit against the city or the electric utility in the future. Again, it just simply says that based on the information which we have, there's no way that our electric utility or the city could have known that was about to happen.
Thank you, Steve. Questions or comments from anyone? If not, back to you, Mayor.
You just heard the discussion and the presentation by staff. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll motion to deny.
I'll second.
So motion by Alderman Kohler, second by Alderman Garza. And just a clarification, by denying it, you're actually voting for the denial.
Yes, so you are denying the claim of the complainant.
So again, a vote for this is denying the claim.
Correct.
Right.
Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Item 2, discussion and consideration approving the sale of the HADC land, tax key 36-1801-0304 to Scott Simon for $926,400. Steve?
So again, this is the offer in which Tom had just talked about. Scott Simon is a well-known developer, primarily in the housing venue. Scott is requesting to purchase the 40 acres. It actually comes out to about 38.5 to be exact, from the HADC of the 65 that they own out in the industrial park. Total value of that property is $926,400, so it's exactly what the HADC had originally purchased the property for. The eventual, the good part about this situation for the city is that by purchasing this and then us creating a future TID, which will be the next ask, we will then be able to get funding to be able to put the road extension in there. By putting a road extension, it opens up additional property for additional development, which we already have 2 people who are willing to buy property out there if the road goes through. So it'll be a win-win situation for both the HADC and the city. Again, the future plans for that money Whatever money is left after the sale will be used for future reference for additional property purchases. Any questions?
Questions or comments for Steve? Not, back to you, Mayor.
All right, you've heard explanation by staff. Anything further from, no? Then I'll entertain a motion. Motion by Alderman Curley, second by Alderman Turchi. Any final discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right. Then for the next standing committee report, Public Works, Alderman Garza?
Yes, up for discussion tonight is authorizing a change order request from Lalonde Contractors and Company in the amount of $20,930 to change the alley pavement material from asphalt pavement to concrete pavement. Chris?
Yep, good evening. So as you know, the East Jackson Street Alley construction project is ongoing. We engaged during that process with the contractor to obtain a cost for installing concrete pavement based on the life cycle costs. And knowing that we have surplus excess in the 2025 CIP budget, to, 7 inches of concrete would be put in as opposed to 4 inches of asphalt pavement. In the alley itself, there's a lot of high volume for truck traffic, deliveries and so forth in the alley, so definitely feel that this will be advantageous, and staff recommends approval in the amount noted at just under 21,000. So with that, I can take any questions that you have.
Any questions?
Will that extend the length of time for that to get finished?
So the cure time on concrete is definitely longer than the asphalt, and we talked during the Public Works Committee meeting that there will be additional protection by the contractor, and was offered by the Hartford Police Department to monitor and enforce, making sure that that is protected
Yeah.
by those traveling on foot, especially. I mean, 12 to 24 hours it can be walked on. Vehicle traffic, that's going to be barricaded off, but foot traffic is certainly a concern that we need to make sure that it's not just roped off and taped off, but that we have active personnel representatives there, keeping an eye on making sure that there's not any confusion with folks trying to get through there.
Okay.
But it's not really extending, a couple hours, half a day or something like that. So it's not like extending it by weeks or anything like that.
No, for the whole project, no, it's not. I mean,
Correct.
I
think that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry. So
That's all right.
to your point,
Both are interesting. but
yeah, but to your point, the 4 to 7 days for concrete vehicle traffic extends the project somewhat, but there's other ongoing work. The electrical utilities are being finished up, so it's not a critical path item that is going to delay the finish date of the project.
Alderperson Webb?
Look, I haven't laid any roads, alleys, anything, so don't take anything from this question, but if concrete was better, why didn't we just plan for that at the outset? Why
Yeah.
did this come up as like a change order in the context of the
Sure,
project?
good question. In hindsight, this should have been alternate bid, probably during the bid process. We could competitively, capture that competitive bid of, you base bid asphalt pavement, and then you alternate bid concrete, so we can get a price from all the contractors that bid. In this case, the contractor is, the general, they do concrete, they have a vested interest in it, but even that, with that being said, that it should have been done. In hindsight, I started just prior to that happening, but with the bid itself, I think, knowing that it's about a 9.2% increase in the overall contract cost, it's still a really reasonable and beneficial cost, for the city to proceed with, and that's why I recommend it.
And to give you a different answer is, we've never done it that way before. And so the good news is that now with Chris here, he has done it with concrete before for alleyways and things like that. And so I'm originally when he told me the idea, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly, why didn't we talk about this before? And the answer from the engineering department was, we've just never done it that way before. And it sounds really like an easy answer, but that's the truth. We've just never, we don't really look at a lot of concrete for roads or things like that. So it's definitely something that is on our radar moving forward, especially with, as Chris said, an alleyway in which the traffic over that is just primarily heavy truck. It's not a lot of individual cars unless Wayne is being nice and rolls up to the back of the mine shaft to drop his wife off before he goes to park. But
Thank you.
Alderman Curley?
Will the parking area be asphalted prior to the alley being done, so they can walk on in the parking lot and just cut across over to the
Sure, so
mine shafts? I'm guessing is probably the busiest place that they'll be going to.
Right, the parking lot will remain open. That's not, we'd kind of had some internal discussions about resurfacing that lot this year as well. We decided against that just because it wasn't planned ahead of time, it wasn't budgeted for. But it is on our radar to replace that lot and kind of have that area be completely done. So to answer your question, that won't be interrupted. We have been barreling off the lane closest to the curb line that's near the alley, just for to accommodate the work that's going on in that area. So aside from that, the parking lot will be open. It's just that there's going to be a little bit of an inconvenience for that temporary period for foot traffic to stay off of it.
Okay.
All right, Wayne?
Can you lay, once it's all done, once the cement's poured and everything, for a day or two, can you, like in that south end, lay 4x8 sheets of plywood or something? Because somebody's going to test that. Somebody's going to walk over that fresh concrete.
Yeah.
Would that be feasible?
It could be. I mean, if there's still weight from a plywood or 4x8 sheet that still could cause issues. I think the main thing is just being physically present and keeping eyes on it. I mean, if they pour it in, say, in the morning, within 6 to 8 hours, you're going to be okay walking on it without, if somebody's going to try to chisel into it or something that may intentionally cause damage, that could be an issue. But no, just the unintentional, walking on it, that wouldn't be an issue after a set period of time of like I said, 6 to 8 hours would be fine. And Alderperson Webb, just to kind of go back to your question, some communities do regularly bid both, and it's something that we can look at. If you've got $1 million project for a road, that delta between the concrete and asphalt is quite, it gets to be stretched out and a little larger. So maybe that's why Hartford hasn't looked at it in the past. It's something that it never hurts to alternate bid it. So there's communities that do it regularly, and sometimes they'll award it and look at the life cycle value of it. It's just a matter of if, for $1 million project, it may be, $200,000 or $250 or $250,000 more than, so that percentage starts to grow as the project gets larger. But it's something that we can certainly look at moving forward.
All right, any more questions? All right, back to you, Mayor.
All right, well, you've heard discussion by staff. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Get a motion or a second?
Or wait,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Who made the motion?
So
I believe I did, and I believe Wayne did as well.
Let's try this again.
Didn't we, Wayne?
Motion,
Yeah,
believe
Wayne,
so.
yeah.
motion by
I believe so.
Turchi, second by Savage. For
Approval.
for approval, exactly. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now it passes.
Yes.
Good deal.
Get there.
You'll get the hang of this.
We'll get it there. All right, so item 11 on the agenda, resolutions and possible action thereon. Resolution number 3729, resolution recommending the adoption of a public participation plan for the city of Hartford, Wisconsin's 2030 Comprehensive Smart Growth Plan Amendment. Steve, you got this one?
Yeah, so again, we've been talking about this for a little bit now. Again, the public participation plan and resolution are a part of any time that you amend your smart growth plan. So 2030 Comprehensive Smart Growth Plan, future land use plan for these areas is what's being amended. So the first area is 228 West State Street. Again, it's a former church that they're now looking to rezone. Then there's also a second section, which is 21 different parcels in the town of Hartford, who they're looking to get rezoned to conservancy. And the reason behind that is that it gives them, the owners, the opportunity to get a farmland preservation tax credits. So none of this is surprising to us at all. And again, what they're looking to change is not an issue to staff, so thus the staff is recommending approval of the public participation plan and resolution PC 2025-02 to initiate the amendment to the City of Hartford's 2030 Comprehensive Smart Growth Plan.
Thanks, Steve. Any motions? I'll entertain. So moved by Curley,
I'll second.
second by Alderperson Wilk. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, item 12 on the agenda is ordinances. The first reading and possible action thereon for ordinance number 1510, an ordinance amending section 22.02 subsection 1 and amending section 22.04 of the Hartford Municipal Code relating to prohibiting and abating public nuisances. Steve?
Yeah, so again, this has been a long attempt to, again, redo our codes as it has to do with public nuisances. And now what this does is basically change it so that we have some teeth behind it and our ability then to change things. Let me give you an example. If it so happens that Alderperson Wilk had a neighbor who wasn't cutting their lawn, wasn't taking care of certain things, wasn't taking care of their house, she could file a complaint. The complaint comes in, we identify the complaint, we send them a notice that they have time to clean it up. They don't clean it up, we send a citation. The citation continues to go on and on and on. The problem is we can't really force them to do something. We just keep sending them citations. And if the citation basically falls onto the fact of, well, they can't afford the citation, which has happened, then the best that we can do is keep citing them. Well, under this situation, the abatement public nuisance basically gives us the teeth to be able to say, all right, you've got so many days to go in and clean up your yard, or we'll come in and hire someone and have them do it. Or our staff will come in and clean your yard and charge you back to it. What this does is now gives us the ability to go in and fix it ourselves if they're not going to. And then what happens is whatever we charge them for the cleanup now becomes a part of their property taxes and then again has to be paid on the annual basis. So it just gives us the opportunity to go from complaint and citation to complaint, citation, and actually getting something cleaned up. So we have plenty of regulars that fit that mold, unfortunately. And so we want this opportunity to be able to go in there, hire a company or have our own guys go in there and then charge them out for the cleanup.
Are we also going to try billing them first before it goes on the property taxes, or will it just?
Well, we can keep citing them for, again, you have a deficiency. We can keep citing them, but citing them only does so much.
No, I mean for either hiring a company to go clean it up or having the city staff do that. Do they get a bill first and then it'll just go right on property taxes?
We just go in, we give them notice, there's a total process you have to go through. If you don't have it cleaned up by Tuesday, we're gonna come in on Wednesday. We will be cleaning up your yard. We will be removing all junk, things like that. The other thing too is, like, for instance, you have a building, a shed, a garage that's leaning, that should be removed. Gives us the ability to come in, have a contractor come in, tear it down, and then take their bill and put it on your property taxes. It gives us the ability to actually fix the problem, not just keep giving them citations.
Just to clarify.
Yeah.
So, again, if we fix the problem.
Yep.
Before we put it on their property taxes, are we going to bill them for it first?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They'll have an option to pay before it goes on the tax.
Right, yeah. So
Okay, that was
I'm cutting to the chase. I'm already assuming they're not going to pay the bill. But anyways, yeah, so they get a bill for it. If they don't pay the bill, it goes on to their taxes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can, maybe this is less a question and more like a request, but I think like the last time we talked about like amending ordinances or other things, we talked about like providing us with like a red line so we can actually see what's different between the existing ordinance and what's in the new one? Is that something we can do? Because I think when we look at these, it's still hard to tell, like,
Yeah, so this whole amendment to it would be completely brand new. It would not, there's nothing taken out of it, of the existing ordinance. This is just simply an addition.
well, that's not true. Like, in 2202-1, you're like taking the old one out and you're putting the new one in, but everything is the same except subsection D.
Hold on one second, let me try to get to that one. What page are you on?
67?
I'm sorry?
67.
67, okay.
So like what's added is constitute repeat or continuous violations of any ordinance adopted by the city. Like that's the new part, right? And then we
Correct.
define what's a repeated violation or what's a continuous violation. So I think it would be like easier for us to just see like that part as the new part that we're slapping in there in the future. That's just,
I will make sure that Jacob does that in the future.
okay, thanks.
All right, anyone else? All right, this is an ordinance, so if you are going to take some action on it, we'd have to move to suspend the rules first.
Move to suspend.
Motion by Wayne to suspend,
Second.
second by Justin. Any further discussion on suspension? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Suspension passes. And then for the ordinance, motion by Alderman Kohler, second by Alderman Savage. Any further discussion on the ordinance? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance passes. All right, moving on to 13, City Administrator's Report.
Hold on one second, I gotta switch to that page.
Take your time, Steve.
Oh, there's nothing to report. I'm like, wait a second, I don't show anything under that page.
I'll approve that.
Second.
Thanks, Steve. All right, last item on the agenda, adjournment. Motion by Savage,
Second.
second by Wilk. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.